Welcome to Ring the Bell, brought to you by the Playmakers. I'm Ellen Terhune, and with me are expert analysts Jared Linz and Nick Springer. Now, tonight we will be talking about the return of Kansas basketball as well as the Kansas City Chiefs. But to start off, KU football will take on K-State this Saturday at home in the Sunflower Showdown. What are your predictions for this game?
I don't know. If you're a KU fan, I don't know how you could be confident with this team beating anybody right now, right? 2 straight weeks getting shut out in really pathetic fashion. 21 yards last game. If I'm a KU fan, I don't know how you could have any confidence. I think this game is 38-3, maybe, give or take.
I mean, it's definitely not looking too great for KU, but I don't want to write them off and say that they're just not going to score at all. I think they're going to get some points.
I said 3
in this game.
I said they're going to get 3.
3, okay. But I mean, Bill Snyder unfortunately just doesn't really lose to KU. However, the K-State defense has been kind of vulnerable in the Big 12 play, so I mean, it's not out of the question for KU to get some points and/or yards in this game. So.
Is that all?
Well, looking at K-State's defense, they give up a lot of yards through the air. So, I mean, Peyton Bender might have an opportunity to shine a little bit, maybe get the ball to Steven Sims some more, which is what I would like to see. But other than that, it's just going to come down to, does KU care?
I agree.
Against TCU and Iowa State, that wasn't the case. And if they care against K-State and they execute, I think a chance to at least make it interesting.
Yeah, after the game, or earlier this week, Dorrance Armstrong, the team's star defensive end, came out and said there's some guys in the locker room that just don't really care as much as others. That's not something you want to see. I think that goes straight to the coaching staff. You got to find a way to get your guys fired up. In-state rivalry game, you think of all games, they're probably going to come out and play this one. But like you said, you got to get Steven Sims the ball. You got to give your playmakers a chance. The very few that you have, you got to get them the ball. But it all starts up front with the offensive line. If they can't give Peyton Bender time, then.
Now, speaking of coaching staff, hopefully offensive coordinator Doug Meacham is a little bit happier after this game in comparison to last week's game against TCU. KU's beat writer tweeted this photo of the offensive coordinator sitting in the stairwell with his head in his hands, debating his life.
That's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. I feel bad for the guy. He was at TCU. He goes to KU, offensive coordinator. His team goes out and gets 21 yards. I mean, I kind of feel bad for him. His players don't execute. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough to see. I would certainly hope that they perform a little better against K-State, but time will tell. With Doug Meacham coming to KU, that was one of the big points of the offseason when people thought that was going to turn things around for the Jayhawks, but it hasn't quite panned out. But Doug Meacham still has shown that he has a strong track record of being a good offensive coordinator. So I put that more on some of the players, I think, with execution-wise. So hopefully Doug Meacham can iron some things out and maybe get some more yards against K-State.
Hopefully.
Now, KU football may not come out on top against the in-state rivalry this Saturday, but Kansas basketball defeated Mizzou in the Border War last Sunday at the Sprint Center in the showdown for relief. It was a very close game, but the Hawks pulled it off at the end, winning 93-87. Now, besides this being an awesome event for charity, what can we take away from this game?
Yeah, like you said, got to give credit to KU and Missouri's athletic department coming together, raising $1.75 million for a great cause. But in all actuality, we know that's not the main storyline coming out of this game. Kansas and Missouri, heated rivalry from over 100 years. They come back and they play for the first time in 5 years. I think the main storyline coming out is this the start of the border war again? Are they going to play again more?
Well, I certainly hope so. Ever since Missouri left the Big 12, I was always adamant that they should at least try to make something where they can still play every year. And a lot of KU fans didn't really want to, and it's been made publicly that Bill Self maybe is not exactly on board with that either. But I see no reason why we shouldn't bring back the border war against KU or against Missouri. You know, I think it's sad to see, not just in the KU-Missouri situation, but across all of conference realignment, we saw a lot of age-old rivalries kind of get swept away in the closet. And I'd like to see a lot of that brought back because I think that's part of what makes college football and college sports in general great is the history of rivalries like that. So I would really hope to see KU and Missouri play in football and in basketball and in any sport really where they can do so, because I think with that kind of rivalry that goes back so far, I see no reason why to keep it out just because of the fact that there was a conference realignment.
Yeah, I get the argument that, okay, Missouri left for the SEC. It was kind of their fault that the rivalry just kind of fell apart. But the main argument I see is KU has nothing to gain from it, and I kind of disagree. In KU's non-conference basketball schedule, they play Omaha, Little Sisters of the Poor, those games at Allen Fieldhouse. You're not getting much from those games either. So why not play Missouri? It'll be a lot of money, big revenue, big atmosphere.
I've heard some
all that
people
stuff.
give the argument that they don't want Missouri to make money by playing KU, and I just think that argument's dumb because who care? I don't really care about money when it comes to that kind of rivalry. I just want to see the two teams play each other. So I think to try to claim that you don't want the rivalry just because you don't want to give Missouri money, I just think that's a dumb argument, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me in that situation.
Now, it's early, but what do you guys think the ceiling for KU will be this year?
I think it's the same as every year. Expectation is Big 12 title, get their 13th or 14th now? 14th straight, beat UCLA's record. Expectation is a Final Four, and I think they have the team again this year to do it. Devontae Graham, senior leader, going to step into Frank Mason's shoes. And then what we saw from Udoka in that exhibition the other day, I don't think there's any reason why he can't be one of the best big men in the country.
Yeah, I agree. My only major concern is early in the season, I don't think we're going to get really a full picture of what KU basketball is going to look like because they're only going to have 8 scholarship players.
Right.
So it's going to be a little tough early in the season, but luckily they're going to have some of those Omaha and Little Sisters of the Poor, as you like to call them,
Yes.
or at Allen Fieldhouse, where they shouldn't have a problem winning them with 4 players on the floor.
Right.
So with that early in the season, I think we won't get the full picture of KU, like I said. And then once Sam Cunliffe becomes active in the second half of the season, we'll start to see KU really start to get together, especially in conference play.
Mm-hmm.
And like Jared said, the expectation is a 14th straight Big 12 title and probably a trip to the Final Four. And I mean, they were very close last year, obviously. And as long as everyone on this team can stay healthy, they're going to have a great chance. And Udoka, at the scrimmage after late night, he had some problems catching the ball, but he looked
Big
pretty
guy.
good against Missouri.
Give him a little break there.
He's got giant hands. Why can't he catch the ball?
Yeah, my one main concern, you said the injuries, staying healthy. Kansas doesn't have a lot of depth in the post, right? They have Udoka, they have Billy, he's kind of a 4,
and then
but
Mitch.
and then Mitch. So if one of those guys were to go down, yikes.
Yeah, and like I said, with already 8 scholarship players now, if they had to play with 7 in the first half of the season, that would be very brutal.
Not ideal.
So.
Yeah.
Well, that is all we have tonight for Kansas Athletics. We will be back after the break with the NFL.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back. The Chiefs lost an absolute heartbreaker last Thursday against the Raiders in Oakland, 30-31. Carr completed a touchdown pass to Crabtree on the second untimed down of the fourth quarter. What do we take away from this game?
Well, first off, I want to say this to all the people out there that want to blame the refs. We're not ref blamers here. The Chiefs
That's
had
true. We are
plenty.
big ref supporters. Big pro-ref guys.
Chiefs had so many chances that they could have won that game. All they had to do was make one play in that final drive where they drove 80 yards. They didn't do it. We're not ref blamers.
Nope.
We're moving on. But
And
like
all
you
the
said,
penalties on the Chiefs were valid. I mean, Ron Parker was literally almost tackled Jared Cook on that one touchdown throw.
Yeah. So the problem here is the defense. The Chiefs have given up 924 yards and 53 points in their last 2 games. Like you see here, Amari Cooper is just running across the Chiefs defense. No one's covering it, right? So The problem I'm seeing here on the Chiefs defense is early in the season, the Chiefs like to play a lot of formations with 3 down linemen. They were getting pressure without having to blitz, but now the Chiefs seem to be struggling to get that pressure. They didn't get to Derek Carr much. They didn't have a sack. And I think that's where you got to look first. The Chiefs aren't getting any pressure on the quarterback. Derek Carr had all day to throw, and the Chiefs gave up 1,000,000 yards.
I think the loss of Eric Berry is starting to rear its ugly head right now in the Chiefs secondary. Eric Murray was really struggling again in coverage for the Chiefs in this game, and losing not just on the field talent in terms of Eric Berry, but just the leader that he was in the secondary.
Right.
Is really starting to show, I think, for the Chiefs. And Marcus Peters is starting to have some little outbursts that he always has.
He can't tackle.
But yeah, that's true. Well, it's not even that he can't tackle.
He
The man
doesn't
refuses
want
to
to.
tackle.
He doesn't want to tackle.
He refuses.
Yeah.
He literally refuses to tackle anybody. It's
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You know, and Philip Gaines is trying his best out there, but I mean, he's not the greatest. So, I mean, you know, the Chiefs secondary, I think, is the biggest problem. And
I disagree, though.
Well,
it
what
all
would you
starts up
see?
front. You have to get pressure on the quarterback. No NFL secondary can cover any team if the quarterback's given 10 seconds to throw.
well, I still think the Chiefs secondary.
I'm not saying they're
is-
world beaters
is-
back
is
there,
not-
but
is
they're
not
not
great.
getting helped out by the guys
But,
up front.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. And in the Steelers game, the Chiefs also just refused to put guys in the box to stop Le'Veon Bell. And then in this game against the Raiders, you're right, they
put guys in the
they
box,
put guys
and
in
then
the
they
box,
can't
and then
defend
they
the
couldn't
pass.
defend outside.
At
Yeah.
this point, what can the Chiefs do to improve the secondary position?
Well, they could probably start blitzing a little more, like Jared mentioned, to maybe put some more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. That would be a start to get pressure, and also stop putting Justin Houston in coverage.
Yes.
That would be a big bonus as well. And D Ford, I don't think he was active against the Raiders, so if he comes back, that would help out as well with the Chiefs because D Ford is definitely an X factor out there. He's not going to be a guy that's going to consistently get pressure, but on third downs, he shows up and he can make plays for the Chiefs. So.
Yeah, and like you see on the screen here, last play of the game, Justin Houston, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, is dropping in coverage on a play you can win the game. You have to send your best player to do what he's best at, rushing the quarterback.
And look,
They didn't do it.
I can understand a little bit of trickery of maybe dropping him in coverage every once in a while, but Justin Houston.
he's not
was
a
in
bad
coverage.
cover guy.
Yeah,
Right.
But Justin Houston should be in coverage like maybe 15% of the time and rushing the other 85. And for the Chiefs, it looks like it's more like closer to 50-50, which
Right.
is not the way it should be.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
should be getting after the quarterback.
Yeah, Ellen asked what the solution is. The Chiefs might have a solution on the way, right? Steven Nelson's been out.
Yep.
He's going to be coming back
Yep.
this week against Denver.
D Ford.
Tom Bahali is on his couch resting up for the stretch run of the season. They'll have him back as well. So maybe those guys can help, but if the offense plays as well as they have, if Alex Smith plays at the elite level he has, the defense doesn't have to be that great. They just have to
Yeah.
go out there and
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting
their own.
paradox of the Chiefs because for the past probably quite a while now, 5 or 6 seasons, the story's always been if the offense can just muster out like 20 points, we'll win.
Right.
Now it's kind of the opposite. Now we need the defense to just hold the opposing team to under 30 points and we'll have a chance. So it's an interesting paradox there of how the Chiefs have been playing. And, you know, Alex Smith, I was leaning towards starting to buy in. Now I'm pretty much fully bought in terms of what he's capable of doing for the Chiefs offensively. Losing Chris Conley hurt a lot, but I still think the Chiefs are capable of putting up 28-plus points per game
Agreed.
with their offense. And so if the defense, like I said, can hold opposing teams to under 30 points, Chiefs are
Now
probably
a
going to
good
win more
chance
than
to
they're going
win.
to lose.
Right.
Right. Now, looking on to Monday's game against the Broncos, what are the Chiefs going to need to do differently in this game to come out on top? Or not even just differently, but what do they need to
Well,
execute?
luckily for the Chiefs defense, the Broncos offense is incompetent.
Yes.
So that's going to help out a lot in terms of trying to prevent them from scoring. So I'm feeling pretty confident coming into this game for the Chiefs to get a victory because the Broncos defense also has not been what it's been in the past. And their offense, like I said, is completely incompetent. They got shut out by the Chargers, which is not, it's not great to get shut out at all. But I mean, the Chargers defense is certainly not anything to, you know. So I mean, I think the Chiefs are going to have a very favorable matchup in this game, and I think this is a great opportunity for them to get back on track with a divisional win after losing a tough one to Oakland.
Yeah, Andy Reid's had 10 days or 11 days to prepare for
Yeah,
this
he
one.
doesn't lose if he has more than 7
Yeah,
days.
Andy Reid's absolutely incredible when he has extra time to prepare. Denver coming into Arrowhead on a Monday night. Atmosphere is going to be crazy. I want to see more pressure on the quarterback. I want to see Justin Houston rushing 90% of the downs, and I want to see what Steven Nelson can do in his
I
return.
at least want to see Justin Houston rushing every third down. I would
yes,
accept that.
That would be cool.
I would accept
It would be
that.
neat.
Yeah.
It would be a neat deal.
That would be a smart thing to do for Bob Sutton.
Well, hopefully the Chiefs can pull it off Monday night. That is all that we have for the Chiefs, and we'll be back after the break.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Welcome back to our last segment of the show, One Word. The guys will fill in the blanks to 2 of my questions. So we will start with you, Jared. Joel Berry breaking his hand in a video game tantrum is?
It's satisfying, okay? This makes me realize he's just another college kid. He's living his life. He's having fun in video games. I can't lie. Maybe I've gotten pissed off at a video game before. I haven't broken my hand. I don't think I'm strong enough to punch a wall so hard that I break my hand, but it's satisfying to know that he's just a normal guy.
For me, it's legendary. I mean, this is one of those things that you talk about when you're old. It's like, remember that time I punched a door so hard that I broke my hand after losing in a video game? So it's legendary. I mean, it's one of those things that's always going to be remembered for Joel Berry breaking his hand after losing in a video game. Which, I mean, like Jared said, I've gotten mad too at video games, but never to that extent.
I cannot relate. The next question.
Oh, please. Come on.
Penn State versus Ohio State will be?
It's going to be a brawl. I think this is an opportunity for Penn State to have the changing of the guard moment with Ohio State. If they can beat the Buckeyes on the road, that's an opportunity for them to potentially take over the Big Ten. And so I think it's going to be a brawl with Saquon Barkley and Penn State versus the Ohio State defense.
And to you, Jared?
It's going to be arousing. Nothing gets me turned on like a big-time college football game on a Saturday in the fall. College football is my favorite sport, and I just can't wait for this. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere at the Horseshoe in Ohio. Saquon Barkley, JT Barrett. I'm excited.
No,
JT Barrett's not that good, right?
He sucks, but I'm still excited.
All right.
While we're on the subject of this game, who do you guys think will win?
I think Ohio State will win at home. It's tough to win on the road in college football. 100,000 people. Ohio State needs to win this game. I think they will.
I think Penn State's going to win. I think Saquon Barkley is going to have a Heisman moment scoring a fourth quarter touchdown to win it for the Nittany Lions.
Okay.
Well, it will be interesting to see how that matchup turns out. That is all we have for this week's episode of Ring the Bell. We hope you enjoyed the show and tune back with us next week.